This conference will now be recorded.
8:30, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, December 10th, 2024. Our weekly supervisor meeting at the courthouse. Available by GoToMeeting also and recorded for future viewing. We have an agenda in front of us. Have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
The motion is there second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Approve the minutes of December 3rd meeting and claims.
I'll move to make that motion.
Have a motion is there second.
Second.
Any other discussion?
Roll call, Jim.
Aye.
Sydney. Aye. Mike.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Todd.
Aye.
County Attorney General discussion.
I don't have anything for you. I sent you an update yesterday on the matter, and I guess that's about all I have, unless somebody has something for me.
Thank you.
I just had one question. When you sent that, has there been any talk, or were you just preparing us if there is anything?
No, I figured, it's been a couple of weeks, I think, since that had passed. I still have the deed. I haven't recorded the deed or anything, so it's in my file. So I was just giving you an update, just since it's been a couple of weeks, I figured somebody would probably ask sometimes.
Okay,
I'm not aware of any issue.
okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
You sent us an email about some court issue thing too. I won't elaborate anymore about it. I just think we need to look into it. So it had to do with refunding money or had to do with the sheriff and the courts and.
Oh, that, yeah.
So is that, maybe you don't want to talk about that yet, so you look at it more?
Well, I did, that first thing, I mean, that thing I sent you, if I recall, I don't think it really had any conclusions in there, did it, or did it?
Well, it just said.
Did I
that
send
they-
you two, or did I just send you one?
You just sent us for one.
Because I think there's another one that just came out that's longer, that I've kind of read, but not completely read.
Aaron, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I have it right here.
Let me look at what I sent before, so I can tell how that compares to,
I'm just curious if they're gonna actually do something or
Well-
if they're just talking.
Okay. That is the last thing I saw. Yeah. Got just a minute to look here, if you would. Okay. Yeah, that must be the last one. That must be what I sent you guys. There must be another one though, that I need to look when I get back there. It seems like they sent something out with a little more of that was a little longer than that, but probably didn't provide much more in terms of direction. And it was a little hard to track, so just because it looked like in one place they're saying some people are gonna get checks, some people are not gonna get checks. And I really couldn't tell what they were gonna do, which is kind of like that, right? It's like, I don't know what this means, what you're telling me you're gonna do. So what I plan to do now, we kind of know before, I don't think any of us knew who in Des Moines was supposedly looking at things, right? But now we do. So now I've got somebody I can follow up with and say, what's gonna happen?
Okay.
It's a crazy thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something gets kind of screwed up on that scale, and,
I'm glad they're at least considering something. I mean, rather than just like,
well, I think they should.
yeah,
I mean, I'm gonna try and ask them to. I don't know if anybody else in the state noticed that or not. I know Emily at the sheriff's office, kudos to her. I think she noticed it here. I guess there were maybe some other people that must have said something too. I don't know. 'Cause I met with Emily and the sheriff, and it took me a little while to get my head around, how it is when somebody's explaining something to you, they know exactly what they're saying, and they have the stuff in front of you, they know exactly what you're saying, and it takes you a minute to catch up to, what are you guys saying? Then we did report to the state, and then, they said, oh yeah, we're gonna look into it. Nothing happened for a long time. Just a matter of coincidence, I think I emailed you that the last time the sheriff was here talking about that, we were talking about that at a meeting probably 3 weeks ago, maybe 4, I don't remember. Right after that, like 30 seconds, an email came through on my phone from those people down there with an update. And I thought, wow, we've gone statewide, everybody's watching. But she said it was just a coincidence, so I suppose it was. But anyway, I'll try and follow up and see. And I'm kind of, I've got a lot of different county attorneys I reach out to, so, give them a chance to digest it and then kind of get a hold of them and say, what are you guys doing? Not that I have to do what they're doing, but sometimes if you can get kind of an overall plan of what everybody wants to do and everybody does the same thing at the same time, get a better result. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're not gonna force them to do anything.
very good. Just wanted to know.
So crazy, yeah.
It's Oregon.
Well, couldn't we force them to do something? We're supposed to self-audit, we're required to have auditors.
Well,
Our documents are supposed to be audited. Why can't the state legislature audit themselves?
well,
I think that there's something that should be said about it.
you're probably right, Mayor.
Like the sheriff said, if he hadn't made the mistake,
That's right.
he'd be going to jail.
That's right. You're right, Mayor.
I'm not right, I'm just.
Well, no, but
I'm saying, what?
you're right. I'm typically not
What
one
if
that just
government
says,
worked the way it's supposed to?
oh, just let it go, and I won't. You're right. So I'll try and see where we go.
All right, very good. Sheriff's not here today, so department head discussion?
We got one thing, Renee Von Bokern emailed yesterday. She heard from the union rep that they're setting up a date for negotiations. Asked for your guys' preference on a time frame. She suggested the week of January 13th or 20th.
Perfect.
And she said to give 3 options. What do you guys think?
Did you say the 14th does not work? That's a Tuesday.
Potentially, I didn't print that part. I just printed her words part of the email.
We got a calendar in front of you? 13th, 15th, or 21st, something like that, or 21st is a Tuesday, it'd be after one of our meetings, but 13th and 15th is on a Monday, Wednesday.
I have a conflict on the 13th. I could do 15th, the 21st.
Any day works for me.
I can make any day work too.
So, do we want to do, 21st is a Tuesday board meeting, I mean, I just have no idea how big the agenda is gonna be for the 21st, but
It would not be during the meeting, though, would it?
Usually in the afternoon, like 1 o'clock, it was.
Okay.
Was there a date through the 6th through the 10th? Is there a date?
Well, we maybe could, but that week we have budget stuff too.
Yeah, I just didn't know if we could do it after budget in the afternoon.
Didn't she say she had the weeks, didn't you say she had the weeks of the 13th and the 20th open, though? Is that what she kind of targeted?
She just said perhaps a week of January 13th or 20th.
I'm fine with either the 15th or the 21st.
Actually, that's the third Wednesday.
Or the
I would
22nd.
be- Pardon?
Or the 22nd.
I have a meeting in Charles City at 12:30 that day.
Which day,
Let's see.
which day, Todd?
What's that?
Which day?
January 15th, Wednesday.
So we do the 21st? Board meeting day?
I would be available for that.
21st,
Okay. Did you say 1 o'clock, Mark? Is that what you said?
that's what they usually were.
Okay. All right.
We could do it after the meeting at 11 or whatever works for her, I guess.
I should have done
Any other department head discussion? County engineer update.
Not a lot to discuss. Back when we ordered our mower tractor, we had decided we were gonna probably try to use the rear deck off of our other tractor. We've kind of changed direction and think we'll just leave that on there. It's gonna turn into a gravel mower, and sometimes our gravels have grass shoulders, which we could probably trim down. So when I was at the engineers conference last week, I talked to the Diamond mower rep, and the quote is still good for when we got our quote for the tractor with the rear mower. So it looks like we might be spending, I mean, we've got enough money in the budget that if we want to add that rear mower deck, and if we tell them soon, they can still get it put on with the side mower that's going to be delivered. I don't know if their tractor is supposedly going to be delivered this month yet, but we're looking at a cost of maybe $12,000 to get the rear mower added to it, which I think is probably a good idea. If we're going to continue to, we're going to leave the old mower deck on there on the other tractor. So if it's okay with you guys, we're going to add that to our order bill on the tractor, and then we'll have everything new on that tractor instead of putting the old one on the back. The reason we were going to put the old one on there is because typically on the highways, there isn't much grass and shoulders, so the mower doesn't ever get used very much, but we're using that mower more and more on the gravel. So we'll keep the other tractor, the blue Ford New Holland, we'll keep that rear deck on there. We're just gonna do rear mower along with the side mower on that new tractor we get in. That works out. We've got money in the budget for it, so we'll be okay. So we'll do that. And then, we've got some doors on our building in Osage here. The main shop's got 4 doors that are, when the building was built in the 80s, they're about due to be changed out, and we've got a couple doors in Riceville that are not in great shape either. So we got a couple quotes a little while ago. One quote was substantially high, so I asked another contractor if they could quote us, and we're looking at probably around $20,000 to get 6 new walk-in doors put in, 4 in Osage and 2 in Riceville. We'll finagle the doors around a little bit. Maybe we don't need side lights on all the doors, windows, but we might have a combination of solid doors and doors with windows, but we're looking to spend a little bit of money there too. And they can still, probably get it done even this winter yet. Just a little update on that. And then, on the agenda for next week, I've got a couple of project closeout final payment things for you guys to approve next week for our asphalt paving we have this summer. So then we'll be turning in final plans for the truck route around Osage here. We'll turn them in, probably hopefully trying to get them put in today. So,
You know that we don't have a meeting on the 24th, correct? And then on the
Then the what?
31st.
Yeah, I won't be here the week between on that 31st or whatever.
That's gonna, I just didn't want you to have something that you needed to have us
So
do.
I'll try to have some stuff. I know we probably gotta re-up the Title VI stuff since there'll be a board chair, I'm assuming a board chair change. And that document's gotta have a board chair. And if we don't get it that first meeting, because it's gonna be a busy meeting, we always put it on the next meeting too. Just as long as we kind of keep it updated for the year is all we're asking.
So are we gonna have one on the 31st? Rachel?
Just one to approve the claims, and we'll put on the go-to, so you can call in as long as you're able to sign the claims report. If that works.
Works for me.
You say, Rich, we talked in length a while back about these doors. You never did get any new doors.
We did overhead doors, the drive-in doors, we did those. Okay. We got walk-in doors that we need to fix up too. We had one quote that was gonna be around, say like 40 grand. This one's gonna be about half of that, so.
How many is it? Six?
Those steel doors are not cheap, but then the labor to put them in and out. The quote we got was from Cedar Valley Steel Contracting. That's, Randy Marks, he's putting up, I think he's putting up the fairgrounds building, he's the one erecting that, so it'll be in the area. And he's the one that also erected our St. Ansgar shop. So that's what we're gonna use for our doors.
Okay.
And then we are still trying to plan on getting the two little structures on Indigo replaced. We've been fighting the excavator breakdown, it's a computer software thing. But I've got 4 rail car pipe ready to be delivered to put in those two structures on Indigo, north of Mitchell there. Trying to, hopefully we can kind of get some of that put in before it gets too frozen, but we'll just try to see how fast we can put in.
Two in each location.
Yep.
Weather conditions this week, it's gonna be cold.
I know, we're hoping that, I can't get delivery until, they've got them scheduled to be delivered next Tuesday, but that doesn't, depending on the weather looks maybe a little bit warmer next week, but we'll see whether we can do any digging there or not. The goal is to try to do something yet before it gets super cold, but we'll just see. If we get out there and we can't do much digging, we might have to put it on hold till spring. But got 4 pipe orders. They're gonna be about close to $80,000 for the 4 pipe, so. And then we'll just do the rest ourselves.
They went up then.
They have gone up a lot. I mean, I remember when we first were doing these pipe, they were around 9 grand delivered, and now they're substantially higher than that.
I was with the Tyler yesterday at a meeting and they're about done. About 10 inches.
The nice thing is that most of the opening is already open for us to put pipe in. We've got to take one back wall out and maybe do a couple feet of over excavation to get the 2 pipe in there. So the hole's there. It's not like we got to dig a new hole, but we do have some excavation to do, and then. So hopefully it's not as much digging as we need to have, but you never know. We'll see what happens. It could be slimy material and we can dig in our own pile and get into some stuff that's not frozen if we need to back hole. We'll just play it by ear.
Yeah.
How's the solar working in St. Ansgar? It's good. I mean, I can give you a quick, I put the app on my phone just so I can monitor it once in a while. It's, I can tell you what we have to date. So far, and obviously it depends on how much sun is shining. But, let me get the app up here. So far to date, we have produced $277.22 worth of electricity on that system, and that was 2 months. Yeah, we've got October and November and part of December that we've, I don't say saved money, but that's how much we generated. Obviously, November, well, I shouldn't say obviously. October was a pretty good month. November was really spotty, obviously based on clouds and so.
So is it kind of taking care of the electrical, is it taking care of the electrical cost or is it?
I haven't looked at the bills lately to compare them yet, and I don't know if they credit anything until the end of the year when they get full bill back. But hard to say, I'll look at the bills.
I just wondered if it was.
Yeah, we're $177.
Thank you.
All right, approved treasurer's report from November.
Good morning. I have an updated one for you. I was looking to compare numbers, and there's one number I didn't change, so the bottom line number and the miscellaneous receipts number is different on this one. Thought it was odd that October and November month were exactly the same, which, and counter, that does not happen. So with the new report you guys have, motor vehicle pays to state was $265,944.36. General basic kept $13,134.14. So I'm working on next year's budget. And because January 1st is when all the rate increases happen, our affiliate president sent us a little worksheet and, where to run this report, where to run that report. And Mitchell County on average does 3,000 titles a year, titling of vehicles. And with the new code, we get about $10 more a year, or $10 more per title. So starting January 1st for the amended budget, I'm estimating we're gonna get $15,000 more just in titling fees. And then we get an extra $10, instead of a small amount for the lien recordings, the loans, we get an extra $10 for that. And on average, they say about a third of your titles have loans on it. So that would be an extra $5,000 for the rest of the year, $10,000 next year. And then the fee for new registration, it's a percentage with another percentage. So they just said this is how to kind of figure it. And I'm figuring $8,000 for next year. So about $43,000 next year. The rest of this year, I'm gonna say this is 15. So I'd say another 20,000 or so. So it's gonna be a sizable increase in revenue, just, so, I keep saying every time, well, it's gonna go up, and it really is gonna go up. It'll be a nice change, and like I said, those rates hadn't changed since '98, so. Postage fees to general basic, 1,040. Driver's license fees to the county was 1,197, so we issued 171 driver's license last month. Of those, only 2 were out of county, so. And then organ donor paid to state 126. So new registration paid to the state was 153,935.25, and general basic got $197.05 out of that. So the total that we collected on behalf of the state was $435,593.80 of that. Mitchell County kept in total $15,588.19. Property taxes collected, we get taxes every day. Right now November is kind of a low month, so there's only 70,577.58, but there are a lot of entities that do, they'll pay in September, and then so if they can still itemize on their taxes, we've already started getting some of the farmers and businesses paying their second half in December. So the busy month is August when they go out, September when we officially collect, December when people are doing their second half, and then March again. So it's never a slow time technically. Penalties was 1,299. Special assessments, 422.26. That was one special assessment that was paid. Tax sale certificates, 422.26. It was kind of weird that. And prepaid taxes was just 75.82. That's kind of like if someone kind of does the math wrong. Like I said before, instead of cutting a check back to them, we will offer to put it towards taxes. Like if they pay the whole first and second half. If they had a penalty and we sent them a report and said this is how much they owe, they'll double that and pay us that. So essentially they're paying the penalty again on the March amount. So it's cutting a check and then have to wait and hopefully they'll cash it, which a lot of people don't cash our checks. We just put it towards the next half and then we don't have to worry about whether or not they got a check and if it gets cashed. So And then interest on investments was $57,616.44. We had 2 CDs that came due that I rolled over. And then miscellaneous receipts from county departments processed was 78 in the amount of $3,437,314.85. Obviously, that was, the majority of that was the bond proceeds, so that still goes in the process. So total revenues processed, $26,517.68. The TIF bonds really. Any questions?
When you guys send out the driver's license, like you for your renewals, there's $1 postage added, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, it was kind of weird that that's what I thought, and like I write my check out, then I just donate that $1.
Mhm.
But if you have several that are due, a trailer, a motorcycle, is that another $1 each?
Yep.
Okay,
State charges, it's, we're collecting on, that $1 each is for the, renewal to be sent out to the person, because we pay for the postage to mail serve, for them to mail all the statements. And then, when they come in, if they were coming online, or if they mail them in, then we have to mail them back out. That's coming and going postage. It's $1 per, if they get a new plate, it's $5. It's almost $4 to mail that plate.
but and I'm okay with that, but if we have 3,
It's $3.
can you just send them all to the person in one envelope?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
That's just the state, that's code, sure. And it's just because a lot of, it's just the way it is. They can't make it like a multiple deduction, because then if they do have like 15 or 20, we're sending 2 or 3 envelopes. Or the postage, if it gets too heavy, then you're paying extra postage on that envelope.
I guess I was just interested because I don't recall ever paying $3.
Oh, always.
My check.
30 years ago, when I worked downstairs, it was 50 cents. And I'd come up and it was perfect, because they would give me the 50 cents back, and I hit the pop machine on the way downstairs, which was 50 cents. Yeah, they've always charged postage. $1, it's been that way ever since I've been in office. It used to be for plates, it was $3, and last year it went up to $5, just because of the postage costs rising, because the postage, the legislature or federal government approved the US Post Office, because they would keep going back to them for rate increases. So they approved for 5 years, every 6 months, to review and increase their postage if needed. Guess what? Every 6 months they've needed to increase the postage since that was approved. So they project that our postage is going to go up substantially in the next 5 years. I think we're like in year 2 or 3 of that approval.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Otherwise, I'll take a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
So moved.
The motions are second.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
Roll call, Todd,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Sydney, Jim.
Aye.
I'm planning on going Friday to the wellness meeting in Des Moines with ISAC. It's just every county that's part of wellness, we go down there, we get a summary, and then they tell us what the expectations are going to be for next year. So we'll come back and let you know what next year's expectations are. Hopefully I'll make it. The last 2 years, I planned on going, and then that Friday we get a big snowstorm.
Don't plan on going.
It's only like 20 or 30%.
I mean, if you don't plan on going, then we won't get the snowstorm.
Okay,
So,
I'll try. I'll work with that.
All right. Next is approved recorder's report for November. Looks like we have an amount of $6,934.49.
Move to approve the recorder's report.
Have a motion, is there a second?
I'll say.
Any other discussion?
Roll call, Mark,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Sydney?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Todd?
Aye.
All right. Next, discussion of possible action on ARPA applications.
Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, so,
Okay, thank you.
Ryan, or do you want to just start, or do you have stuff you want to tell us first, or what?
I'll just kind of go over it just a little bit high level before there's a bit more discussion. So this precedes my employment a little bit, everything that's happened with this. So what happened was we missed a bill for our Office 365 licensing. So that number that was put before in that request, the 17,000 number, is 2 years worth of licensing. Rachel might be able to give you a little bit more history on exactly why we missed that invoice. But basically, again, like I said, that's 2 years worth, which would get us up to date with our licensing. And that licensing is mainly, the biggest thing is used for email, but it's also used for other office stuff when it comes to Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. So it is something that we need as a county. Considering the size of the bill for the 2 years, Rachel recommended that we might look into the ARPA funding source to help with some of the costs of that licensing. That's basically the IT side of it. I don't know, Rachel, if you have more information on the invoice situation from the past.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. We've kind of experienced the solutions with their turnover. They just weren't sending some of our invoices. For the most part, I believe everything's caught up, but obviously this one hasn't been paid. So, yeah.
So my question, Ryan, is that when I was here yesterday, I was looking at the expense summary reports for November, or for November. And I see in informational technology charges, there's $26,000, just almost $27,000 left remaining in there. So I don't have a problem with using the ARPA dollars for what's on the application. That's not my point, but if we have money that's been budgeted already, I'm just wondering why we wouldn't use that first. It just seems like we're kind of doing it backwards. So any comment about that, or?
As far as sorry, as far as the ARPA funds were concerned, that was just an idea Rachel and I came up with. It can certainly come out of my budget if it needs to be. It was just kind of a bill that came up higher out of nowhere.
So for the line item that is informational technology charges, do you have anything in the next 6 months that's going to come out of that's major?
I don't foresee anything. The big is going to go out of a different line item. So this will be the first year that I'm more involved with the budget. I'm kind of working with still the money I came in with here. So, but that money should be free, barring anything unexpected like this invoice.
Okay.
And we wouldn't have enough in the ARPA funds to pay for both of these anyways.
No.
Don't you have to use the ARPA funds by the end of this year?
You don't have to use it, you have to have it committed.
Okay.
It has to be used by the end of December of 2026.
So you're committed to something.
Mhm.
Anyway.
But isn't there some that home health didn't use because they got a grant from for those that equipment that they put in for? They got a grant from Shop on State, so some of that should be come back, and it.
Was that the blood pressure?
4,500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't heard how much they used, how much they didn't use for that one.
Yeah.
I think, this is Laura. Can you guys hear me? I think we used about maybe 2,500 of the ARPA funds for the nursing equipment, since we did get the Shop on State grant. And then it's about just under 12,000 for the windows. And for the nursing equipment, that has already been claimed. And then half of the window claim has already been claimed as well. So all we have left is the other 50% of the window project, which is about $5,500.
I think when I asked Rachel, you said maybe 10,000
I was
left.
thinking it was between 10 and 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Your spreadsheet is $10,777.
And I believe that has the quotes in there for, or the amounts for Laura.
mhm.
Well, I'm just wondering if, I don't know how, I'd like to use personally, I'd like to use the budgeted money since it's there to be doing that. And I don't have an issue with using any of the remaining ARPA dollars for what IT needs to do. And again, that's not my point. So I don't know how to write the app or write a new application. Could a person, or I can't explain myself real well, I'm sorry. So on the sheet that I gave everybody, you see that the bottom three line items, there's one for new equipment, one for office and computer equipment, one for informational technology charges.
Mhm.
So if we were to pay these solutions invoices out of the informational technology charges, which there's almost 27,000 in there, pay that, and then have an application that says that we will be using the ARPA dollars for either new equipment, office and computer equipment, or informational technology charges. That way, in this fiscal year, if he still needs money in one of these, it's there. Or in next fiscal year, when we do have to buy a server, Solution says that we're gonna have to buy a server, and it's gonna be between $45,000 and $65,000. We could use any of the remaining for that. I just have an issue as far as using the ARPA dollars when we have $26,000 in there that's budgeted for something. I guess that's my main point. And I'm good with, I'd like to hear comments from the board too, as far as.
My concern is today's the 10th, and our time's limited on what we can decide to do with the ARPA dollars. But it looks like if we decide to go with your proposal, we kind of have our bases covered for the future. Or, before 2026. But we're gonna have to either agree to use them today for Ryan's, or we have to make a decision before the 31st.
We'd have the next meeting or the 31st meeting, but basically that's when we'd have to come up with it.
Why not commit the ARPA dollars to the new server then? You could do that, correct?
You could do that directly, yeah.
I mean, you're gonna need money from somewhere to do that, so.
Right.
Then you would.
That would probably be the simplest,
Then it would be covered, correct? You don't want to pay it back, so.
So if we decide to do that, how's Brian's budget taking this 26,000 out? How does it look between today and June 30th? Brian?
Yeah. As far, again, the big purchases have already been made that I was going to do this year. So I'm not concerned about meeting the goals that I'm trying to do for the county when it comes to my budget as it is now.
All right.
So could we, I just wanna make sure, so when Mike said about, could we just put that in for a server, can we word that differently? That if something would come up between now and June 30th that Ryan may possibly need?
Well, we could do it like what Jim said, the new equipment office, because the server would be new equipment, so we could just leave it under that.
Okay,
We
yeah,
don't have to put server specifically.
no, okay, so I would be
Just put new equipment.
okay with
Correct.
wording it that way that.
That way, it would help with this budget this year if there's a shortfall, or if there isn't, then it could go for the server for the next year.
Sounds
That's what I
good to
was-
me. Everybody
Yeah.
else is agreeable.
I agree.
So how would,
Do we have to approve this then, since we're not using ARPA?
we have to approve an ARPA application this year, otherwise we lose that $10,777. So we have to approve it for something either today or next week.
I just meant Ryan's, we don't have to approve.
No, that one's in,
We can just,
Oh, the
so now,
Susan
so
one?
now we can just say, I make a motion to approve the remaining dollar amount on the ARPA funds to go towards new equipment or office supplies
For IT.
for IT. How do you want me to include new equipment, office and computer equipment, informational
Just
technology?
do your IT, that way it could be anything. Generic.
I make a motion for the correct wording.
So what was your motion? I didn't hear.
For the remaining dollar amount in the ARPA funds for IT department. New equipment?
Just the IT department.
I don't know, can it be just IT department?
I think that's fine.
Do you think it would work that way?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
A blessing from Rachel, yes, IT department.
I'll second that.
Motion second, any other discussion?
Roll call, Todd,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Cindy,
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Who seconded that?
Mike,
You okay with that, Ryan?
Yep, I appreciate it, guys, and thanks for being flexible and letting me join this virtually. I appreciate it.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Items of note, meetings attended.
I had a Osage City Council meeting last night. Utilities was there, talked about some upgrades that are gonna be happening. The Maple Heights project on Main Street is very busy as far as finalizing it. The target date is the end of this year to have that completed. Lots of contractor work going on there. They talked about the water trail agreement with conservation as far as the spring park access for the water trails. Arctic out there by the cemetery is going to there's gonna be a building constructed that they will be using, and I think Jenny spoke with this also, 10 to 15 possible new jobs there. They committed some of their ARPA dollars. Here's something that's probably gonna be knocking on our door sometime. So it has to do with meals being provided at the seminary. And Elder Bridge funds part of those meals. I believe St. Ansgar is not going to be providing meals anymore up there, I think.
2 days a week.
Okay, last night they said that they were gonna be done up there, but if that's the case, okay. At least at the seminary in Osage, the number of people pay and the number of people don't pay. And currently there's a $54,000 deficit in regards to expenses with that. And it sounded as if Elder Bridge was going to get out of the paying for meals business. So what, an entity that's involved with the meals, I don't know exactly what their title would be in Osage, came to the Osage City Council and wondered if they could help. Well, Osage City Council gives $5,000 currently, and they asked them what they wanted, what they were requesting, and they were requesting $50,000. Well, the city council said, well, that's not really, we've got to think about that. And apparently they have record of, I'm not signed up for meals at the location. So if I go there, I believe it would cost me $12.95, I think is what the number was, to eat there. If a senior's signed up for meals, then because of Elder Bridge requirements, they can't be charged a specific dollar amount. It's by a contribution process. And as I said, some are paying and some are not paying. There's also a lot of people that aren't, it's not just an Osage thing, it's people in the rural areas and people from other towns that are coming here. So the city council is saying, well, this is more of a county-wide issue, and I think there will be people coming to visit us as far as that. I told them they would need some documentation in regards to how many of these people are from the rural areas, how many of these people are from, I'll just say St. Ansgar, Riceville, Stacyville, outlying towns. So the county isn't just, even if we were going to do it, writing a check as far as a large dollar amount to help with this. That's kind of it. So, any questions?
What would the city of Osage end up doing? 5,000?
They have been doing 5,000, but when they've had the $50,000 request, they just kind of said, well, since there's so many other people out of Osage that use this, as kind of a countywide issue. So nothing has been done. And I don't know how $54,000 deficit. Well, my question was, well, who's paying that? Because
Yeah.
the meals are done, people have been fed. How can you continually keep
Going in the hole.
Yeah, I don't get that, and nobody had the answer for that.
I'll bet the seminary probably is eating that somehow.
That's a
shape, or
substantial
Yeah, why would
chunk
they
of
do
money.
it? Why would they do
form. And I do know that, Wednesdays, the Rotary eats, basically, I think they have the same meal. So it costs $130 4 times a year to belong to the Rotary. So I don't know what that $130 every 4 months is used for. I could ask, but I don't know if that goes to the seminary or for the meals or, I've been there and they're pretty choice meals.
Yeah,
Very, very good meals.
it's all positive thing. The meals are good, and it's feeding people that, people that need to eat appropriately. It's feeding those people. And I guess there's somebody that comes from the CRC, and I don't know how often, for people to do some light exercising that need to exercise, and they have some games, I don't know if it's bingo or whatever. So I mean, they're doing things for the seniors there, but it's pretty big deficit.
And I've been there where there's a dining area room full of couples eating there. I'm assuming they have to pay. I guess I didn't know some people didn't pay.
But if you're on the senior program, that's when it's the donation. But I mean, if you're not signed up for that program, then you have an amount that you have to pay. And they have a record as far as when they sign up for that, they know that I'm from Osage and you're from St. Ansgar and you're from the Mitchell area. I mean, the Stacyville area. So they know that anybody that signs up where these people are coming from for the meals. And so that's why it turns into, well, this might be kind of a county issue because we know how many people are coming from the outside of Osage area. So. That's all I had.
You sure?
Yeah, I think so. Sorry. Once it starts, it just doesn't stop. Sorry.
I had no meetings this month.
I didn't either this week.
Mine took the whole month off.
Better. Had a safety meeting and Ryan talked about the panic buttons a little bit. And had a Heartland Insurance meeting and went through the property evaluations and the township liability. We probably have a $2,500 increase next year for our budget for cemeteries and township trustees. It's coming.
I had a fair board meeting. It wasn't a very long one. We went through the committee lists and most everything's slowed down this time of year. They wanna move the ribbon auction next year. They had a livestock weigh-in this last weekend, was it Jugo? Anyway, there was like 113 entries for that, so quite a few. Building committee had, the footings are in and where the post will all stand. Gates, they did some pricing on gates for it. Boy, you just don't get gates for cheap. So those, I believe they got them ordered. They are going to go, long discussion on this one, because it's gonna be there soon, going to e-tickets, where you order tickets online. Unfortunately, but we're gonna try and do a slow process of still take cash, for this year and next year and, just see how it goes. It's good, it's there.
That be for the grandstand or what?
Yeah.
Old people struggle with that.
Well, you look at, and I agree with a few of them said, you get these people that come rural areas that they come to town to go to the fair, to the truck pull or the dirt, and then they want to pay cash.
Yeah, they have a flip phone yet,
So
yeah.
That's why I think we all kind of agreed that, well, us old timers agreed we gotta keep taking cash. A few of the younger ones said, it's not that hard. No, it is hard. So they're gonna just kind of try and go at it slow.
Is it gonna be cheaper for an e-ticket? They incentivize people to be cheaper for doing it that way, or?
Well, I don't know how deep to get into it, but no.
Okay.
One thing, it's been the same price for a long time, and I worked at ticket booth at 2 nights, and I did have a handful of people that I didn't know they said, how much? That's all you're charging to get into this event? And so they're gonna raise the prices a couple dollars, but now on this stuff, when you order the ticket, you're charged like $1.30, okay, for the transaction, I guess. So the scenario was if it's $15 and you order or you do the tickets online, it's gonna be $16.30, or you could go to the window and pay $18. So it's kind of strange, but the person that's putting this together is very, very knowledgeable of it. And he said, there's a generation in there don't care about the $1.30. They just want that ticket.
But there are some that do care.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
What's the advantage, why does the Fair Board want to do this? What's the reasoning?
It's just the way the society's going.
Modern technology,
And, there's a benefit to it that we can start selling tickets today. So let's say they were talking about, let's start selling tickets today for $15, but come March 1st, they're going up to $20. And then closer you get to fair, they might add another couple bucks onto, so people will see that and they'll order their tickets.
What happens if an event rains out and people don't show up at the place to buy a cash ticket, but then you have $20,000 worth of e-tickets, so you're gonna refund that, or are you gonna go through the process of refunding all that to people, or is it just like, you're out?
You're getting too deep.
Okay.
So but I'll answer it. It's a benefit to the Fair Board.
Yeah.
I mean, they get rained out, they lose. But they will have that money in their account.
Yeah.
Non-refundable.
We still do it if it rains.
Yeah, so, there's a lot of, there was a lot of talk about old timers and young and rain dates, and so, yeah, it's.
Do you want me to order your ticket?
Thank you for putting up with me, Todd.
No, you're good. That's a lot of the talk. So that, and then, this weekend, the 13th through the 15th is, Iowa Association of Fair Convention. So, this is when they'll hopefully get the carnival that we've had. And other vendors will be there, they'll visit with. And then, they're gonna have to go through and kind of update bylaws, as they haven't been for quite a while. So anyway, and that was it.
Thank you.
Very good. Public comments, any public comment?
Yeah, what's it take to be a senior in this community?
65
How
and older.
old is a senior?
65.
65. Well, I'm 74. And I still can buy my own meals. And there are seniors that can buy their own meals. So how do you get $50,000 in debt? $25,000 in debt? Maybe you should think, what do we need to do to correct this? What is that feed supposed to be? Is that supposed to be free food for all old people, or what's it supposed to be?
They ask for a donation. They say it's a donated thing.
Okay, so if I came and I'm a senior and I threw a quarter up for my donation, I could eat a $12 meal for a quarter.
Yep.
Well, that's not right.
No, it's not.
So then fix it.
And they know people that just go there every day, walk in, eat,
Exactly.
and leave.
Call them on it. I go to a restaurant, I'm expected to pay for my meal and a tip.
But
Nobody gets tipped there.
you can't call them on it because if with the program and the Elder Bridge policy, the Elder Bridge policy, you can't tell them how much. It's a senior self-donation. That's
Okay,
the rule. So
How is Elder Bridge supported? Where do they get their money?
from us. So It sounds like you're gonna get out of
It's a
it.
program, then you gotta fund it.
So if
There's
Elbridge goes out,
$50,000 in debt catch up.
they could
We
charge
don't
them
give them
$5.
that much, do we? I don't,
Elderbridge subsidizes $3.95 a meal, not to exceed $35,000 for this dosage.
I don't see how it got so far in debt.
I agree with you.
Somebody needs to audit it. We can start at the top up there in capital and audit those people first.
and again, I will tell you, they are way more a meal than what, if it does not get paid for and it's getting free and people are putting a quarter in, it's an expensive meal. I mean, I say, I belong to the Rotary but I get what you're saying, Keith. We should have, if we could have peanut butter sandwiches and tomato soup and we'd be way less than
I would not be
54,000.
offended if I walked in there and they said, well, do you have ability to pay? And, the meal was $12. That's I can say, yeah, I'll come, I'd love to do that, have that meal, sit down and have it, and I'll go home. Or else if I can't afford it,
Yeah, I get you, and
well, either it's free or it's not.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that don't think like probably all of us in this room and take advantage of the situation and ruin a good program for everybody.
Right, for those that need, those that have
That's right.
need.
That's right.
That's the question I'm getting to. I don't have that need. I can make my own meal or I can pay for a meal. But if it's being abused, there has to be a way to clear that up.
How does the senior center in St. Ansgar operate? How does the senior center in St. Ansgar operate?
Never ate there, couldn't tell.
Oh, okay.
Imagine
But I know
the people eat it. I don't care how.
Okay. They don't just give away free to everybody though either, do they? Or-
I don't know. I've never been in there for a meal. I could find out. So.
Yeah, I just,
it's just like, you see it all over the country of Thanksgiving and Christmas meals, and there's families that go to those, large families, and
What do you mean by large? A lot of people are large.
mom, dad, kids, grandkids, and people, and it's a free meal. KC halls and the Legion halls and,
But they fund that.
correct, but I don't feel that my parents and myself and all my siblings should go eat a free meal. No way.
Well, if Elderbridge backs out of this program, then what will happen there?
Those are decisions that will have to be made. That's why I say people are probably gonna be coming to visit us. And I'll be curious what other cities are going to do, and there's gonna be a lot of decisions that will have to be made.
Any other public comments? Nothing? 9:33 will adjourn. Thank you.